The Raiders have had a disappointing season, obviously, but I just find the situation so fascinating with the kind of the big conversation heading up into this year was, will they win or lose the Davante Adams trade? Gave up a lot of draft capital, paid a lot for him, and he has absolutely delivered. The issues with the Raiders have been other things, but this has been a resounding win, this trade. It just so happens other things went wrong. But let's talk about what he's doing so well, and while this maybe is a lost season, unless they run the table, what you have going for yourself if you are a Raiders fan is the fact that you have Davante Adams, who's a superstar who you can help build around, who's still under 30, so you have time to work with here. You see the route that he is on the screen. He's running a deep route on the outside. Derek Carr takes the snap. Derek Carr is going to look in that direction, and you see right here for Adams, he doesn't appear to be open. And this is kind of the great thing about Adams is I do feel like you've noticed, hey, some of these offensive linemen, there's been some turnover from this year to last year, but also some of the guys that were there last year too are all of a sudden blocking a little better. And I think a big part of it is because Carr is getting rid of the football quicker because Adams is getting open, or just because Adams is the guy you can throw to even when he's not open, like what you see on this play. And the offensive line's also doing a good job on this play, but that's, more of a general point than a point about this specific play. Watch Carr make this throw, and it's just a beautiful throw. The corner never saw the ball because he was playing Adams the whole way. That's Patrick Surtain, who's a good corner, but Adams was just a little bit better there. Adams, was able to get past him. And again, it's kind of the respect that corners give Adams of you turn your back towards the quarterback. You're so focused on Adams that he can adjust to the ball, whereas the corner was never able to until the ball was in Adams' hands. One thing we're starting to see a little bit more of, and this is the stuff I want to see. I want to see this kind of stuff more frequently, which is just scheming Adams open. It's kind of similar to what we saw really the Packers do a lot last year. And also I think about Cooper Kupp and how the Rams kind of said, hey, we have this great receiver. Instead of just trusting him to win on the outside like we know he can do, let's kind of scheme him open. And, we just saw Adams kind of just win on the outside one-on-one, but now they're going to scheme him open. It's going to be a play where you have a concept designed to get Adams open over the middle of the field. You're running a play action, and on top of that, you have a receiver running kind of an underneath route. You also have a receiver running a deeper route, which can take away the safety and corner. So play action with the underneath route can help get the linebackers further in. Then you have a deeper route, can push safety and corner further deep. Adams runs in the middle of this. A lot of times you have the guy who's running the deep route be your best receiver, have him take away the extra attention, but you don't have to do it that way, and they're not doing it that way. Watch as this play begins, you're going to see Adams just gets wide open right here. It's well executed across the board. Actually pretty well defended by the Denver Broncos too. I would not say this is bad defense. This is just good offense across the board. Carr is able to make this throw, and Adams is able to, make the grab. It's a bit of a high throw, and also could just kind of, something got a little twisted there. He was okay, thankfully. Could have gained more yards had that not happened, but, you're getting the ball in your best player's hands. You're scheming him open, and again, if he doesn't kind of I don't know what happened exactly there, but if that doesn't happen, he could pick up even more yards. So it's good stuff. You have something like this, which is just, again, he's so good at everything. I feel like one thing that he's kind of been able to blossom at later on in his career is these deep shots. He used to kind of always be the guy where he was an elite possession receiver, almost like a Michael Thomas type, but I feel like as his career has grown, he's getting better with age. He really has gotten better every year he's been in the league, this year included, in my opinion. And this is a great example of it's a zone coverage play, cover 3 zone, and you see the route he's running. It's a deep route, but again, kind of talked about earlier, a lot of times these routes are just routes designed to draw attention away from other stuff. Rarely are these deep shots going to hit. That's why you rarely see quarterbacks throw the ball that far deep, but it can help set stuff up over the middle. Typically defenders are most prepared to cover the deep stuff because that's what you can't give up. Watch how when Carr takes a snap and runs the play action, you see right here, there is a potential window for Adams to be able to, get open. I think a lot of what Adams did well on that play was how he kind of didn't give away what he was doing until right now. So the safety did not have time to get over and try to get in position. And also it's an example of sometimes the extra attention you give to a player can actually hurt you. You see how far over the safety was to that side of the field. Well, the issue is now the other side of the field, because there's only one safety deep, is just completely uncovered. So because of that, Carr sees it, Adams sees it, and you see how Adams gets all the way over to the other side of the field, gets the best angle possible for his quarterback, and is able to make a catch. Just little things like this that, even when you pay him extra attention, it still doesn't always work out. It can definitely be very dangerous. And also stuff like this is stuff that I like to see and would love to see them do more. And if they did a decent amount in this game, which is, hey, we're playing the Broncos. The Broncos like to play their zone coverage. Well, let's put ourselves in situations where our best receiver, Davante Adams, can go up against linebackers, because that's something you can scheme up, and in that scenario, it's going to be really tough. So this is a 3rd down and short situation. Worth mentioning the situation. You have to get to the 43-yard line if you're the Raiders. So that's what they're trying to do right here. So paying attention to Adams, looking in his direction makes the most sense. And basically what you're doing is you have several receivers who are going to be running, who are more towards the outside of the screen than Adams is. They're going to be running in that direction, which could basically take the attention off of Adams. The defensive backs on that side of the field will then take away the guys who aren't Adams. They'll take away the other eligible receivers on that play, since that's where they're supposed to cover. And when Adams runs over the middle of the field, the linebacker's supposed to cover there. That's just a massive mismatch. Watch as this play begins, and you see right here, it's good defense by Denver. Everyone's doing what they should be doing. The issue right now is that it's Davante Adams going up against a linebacker. I mean, that's a tough spot. Like, that's a great scenario for the Raiders to be in. Watch as Adams is going to win this matchup very easily, pick up the 1st down. Just great stuff from Adams. I mean, that's really the way that I look at it. It's great football from Adams, and it's great football from this Raiders coaching staff, which has gotten criticism, and I think some of it has been deserved, but they're getting better. I do feel like the X's and O's have been getting better week in and week out. They have been figuring out how to use Adams a little bit more, which is good to see. Now let's talk about the game winner, because of course we have to talk about the game winner. What a game winner it was. Great route by him. I still think he's the best route runner in football. I do. And this is a great example of, I'm not even going to tell you what he's doing, because I want you to see just why it's so difficult to stop him. So it's worth mentioning that for the Denver Broncos, they are in a zone coverage. And you see when Adams starts this play, you see how far up he goes towards the middle of the field. I mean, to me, that feels obvious that he's going towards the middle of the field. Right now, you start to see him maybe doing something else. But I mean, that beginning of the play, he totally fooled both Denver defensive backs into thinking that he is going over the middle of the field. And again, this is a good Denver Broncos defense that the Raiders are going up against. So when he cuts back to the other side, I mean, look at how far he burned both of those two players, gets into the end zone, waves goodbye to the crowd. I mean, just really good stuff from Davante Adams. This is what he can do. This is what he's capable of. And it's just an example of, like, the Raiders don't win this game without him. I mean, they just don't. Again, maybe at this point you don't care too much because your record is bad. But, hey, you still like to win football games, right? Well, I'm a Tampa Bay fan, and when my teams are bad, I always still rooted for us to win. That's just more fun than rooting against your team, I think. Obviously, I understand the logic behind trying to get a good draft pick and everything, but hey, what you root for doesn't actually impact the game, so that's what I would do. So if you're like that as a Raiders fan, I'm sure you're having fun watching him play and watching him help you win football games. And again, yes, this season has been tough. There will be more seasons. There's always next year. So even if this season is a loss, you still have future seasons with a superstar wide receiver. That's pretty cool. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.